Hey, everybody, it's Cindy here, and welcome to another episode of the Life Makeovers podcast. I hope you were able to listen to my conversation the other day with Irasa Downing because it was a wonderful, wonderful discussion around all things midlife and looking to our next horizon as well. She talked a lot about her journey with balancing her career with her family life and talked about the need for grace, giving herself grace and extending grace to others at all times. It's like one of her key words in her life, her key intentions in her life. And I loved that and thought that was a wonderful reminder for all of us. So, some of the life transitions that we talked about were the empty nest and caring for parents or other family members and dealing with the death and illness of other family members or people close to us and all those things. And so if you are finding yourself in any of those situations, I really recommend you go back to Wednesday's episode and listen to the full discussion. But here are some of the highlights that Irasa shared. Again, one is that recognizing that when you're caring for other people in your extended family, your parents, your aunts, your uncles, whomever, your older relatives, that to remember that they need as much independence as they can create, as long as they can have it, that they are people and they need to be respected. All the while, we also need to have those conversations with them to help things move as smoothly as possible as things continue to progress in their lives. And she said that, again, she's learned that extending grace to herself and to others has been one of her greatest tools in this situation. And that it's important to find your anchor at all times when you're caring for others, when you have a lot in your life going, is to find your anchor. And one of the things that she does intentionally, which I just love, is that she has what she calls First Fridays for Family. And that's where she schedules a happy hour or a dinner with her extended family, those that live locally where she does. And so it's like putting in the calendar this regular quality time together with people that she loves, which I thought was incredible. We talked a lot about the empty nest. She has two daughters who are both off venturing on their other their next phases of their lives, but how she and her husband have found this to be a time for them to really retreat together, have dates, go on their, have second honeymoons, that they're really enjoying this precious time together. And what's so wonderful about this is that, really in the research with psychology and so forth, with couples going through the empty nest, it's usually one of two things for couples. It's either a time of what they're finding where they're kind of reignites their love. It gives them more quality time together, really getting back to that time that they can just focus on one another without obligations or concerns of children's schedules or whatever. And that it's actually, growing their relationship in a very fun, sweet, precious time for them together. And for other couples, the opposite can happen with the empty nest season, where now some couples are just lost without that mutual goal of raising the kids and focusing on their children, and find themselves at kind of a crossroads going, now what? Who are we now? Or do we even have anything in common anymore? So one of the most common times for divorce in America is after the last child has left the household. And so I was really pleased to hear Ross's experience of having this wonderful honeymoon. And yes, they love and miss their daughters, but it's also really fun to not feel responsible for them day in and day out. And she talked about that struggle of having young adult children, as resisting the temptation to rescue them when they have their own choices to make or decisions, or if things go awry for them, to not just jump in and rescue, but rather be a listening ear, a consultant, but not so quick to get in there and solve their problems or whatever, and to let them, because it's their life, it's their experience. And so we want to embrace that opportunity to let them grow and learn as parents, and respecting them as adults, even when we don't necessarily like some of the decisions that they're making or choices they're making. She expressed, that relief, pride, joy in watching her girls make some really awesome choices that she she really appreciates too. And so it's a celebratory time for families as well, or can be. We talked a lot about retirement, like when we enter that time and what we can do to make the retirement years really wonderful, like what we can do right now for those of us who are not yet retired to really support an awesome lifestyle in retirement. And of course, there's all the financial things to do to prepare, but she mentioned health is wealth. And I loved that. Health is wealth. And so to really keep up our wellness checks, do anything we can to support our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health, financial health right now. So in the later years, we have bodies that we appreciate and can still use at its best and so forth. And to really, embrace the pivots in our lives. I love that. Embrace the pivots, and go for it and look for joy in all of our circumstances and things, as well as sort of an anti-aging approach. And so I just really want to encourage all of you to listen to that conversation again. Oh, and one other thing, we talked a lot about body image and how can we love our bodies, even when, there are things about it that maybe we don't particularly appreciate. And how can we, spend time looking in the mirror, loving ourselves just as we are, and all of that. So if you feel like you're going to fight with your body, that's also not going to serve you well in terms of preparation for retirement or aging. That will not add to the health is wealth, goal or whatever. That will be a deterrent from that. And so really reconciling your relationship with your body and doing all the things that you feel define health for you in your life, even now as you prepare for later years in your life, it's really super important. And we had a great conversation around that. So anyway, grace to be extended to yourself and others. Please remember that health is wealth. And wow, all these gems and more. So thank you again, Irasa Downing. You're amazing. And, I think the world of you. And thank you, listeners, for being here. If you're enjoying these podcasts, please share them with others. Let them know about the podcast, because I'd love for these messages to get as far and wide as they are needed and wanted. So, and if I can serve you in some other way as a coach, a speaker, a writer, if there's anything you need at all, head over to cindydwhitmer.com and feel free to contact me. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.